I just came up with this idea last night because I do this show every single week, and I thought, Sarge was such a great person in the time that I'd known him, and I felt like you had a very close relationship, and we have a lot of listeners from the UK and all over, so I wanted to pay tribute to him today. So I thought I'd have you on.
Okay, great. I'm
Yes.
glad to be on with you.
Well, thank you so much. And you're also someone that's been incredibly kind, so with your time and everything. So when did you first meet Sarge, and can you let people know a little bit about the background of him and some of the things, how involved he was with San Jose boxing?
Well, sure. I knew Sarge. I've known him for many years, but we were, through the boxing community. We never trained together or anything like that. But because I was training, other clubs, I would see him at boxing events. But mostly, we would talk over at San Jose Pell when we had sparring sessions. And whenever he took any of his fighters out there, and I took fighters, him and I would sit and we would talk there and talk about different philosophy of boxing and whatnot. So that's kind of how we really met. And then it was last year, July of last year, Sarge actually approached me and asked if I would help him corner Moises Benitez's pro debut fight. Sarge was already, he was ill, and it was hard for him to get in and out of the ring. And I didn't know how sick he really was at the time. But, of course, it was an honor for me to work with him, and said I actually would be happy to help him with Moises' first pro debut fight. And that's really where we really got together. And after that fight, he asked me out to lunch, and we talked for hours. And he asked if I would help him train Moises and continue with him throughout his pro career, which was an honor for me. And I said, absolutely. But just one thing led to another from there, and it became more of he wanted me to help him with his gym, and I did, and we every day we would talk, and he had this goal that he was going to be better and be able to return to the gym, and him and I would work together side by side. But unfortunately, that never really happened because he was so ill. But of course, people that know Sarge, he's been a big part of boxing in the Bay Area for many years, and there's a lot of history, and he brought along a lot of fighters in his gym through the national rankings, and his goal was always to have a world champion as a pro, and he believed that Moises and a couple of the fighters that he has in the gym would definitely be able to achieve that goal. And so, of course, me working side by side within this whole year, we're still focused on continuing Dreamland and continue to build fighters and continue to build a community in San Jose that people want to continue to come to Dreamland, and it's a family affair, and so we're continuing with that dream.
Yeah, when you brought up something, I had to write it down so I didn't interfere with you, but it reminded me so much of Sarge because I didn't know how ill he was either, but every time I'd see him, he'd kind of give me a hand, and he'd like shake it back and forth. He'd be like, I feel all right. But like he had this way about being where you always thought he was doing much better than he was. Like he never, maybe it was the Marine way. He was a proud Marine, and I was reading a lot about him to pay tribute. But that really resonated with me, that I never really understood how sick he was.
Right. Well, Sarge, he was just a person, he's a special, unique man. He had a way with words that just made you want to excel. He brought out the best in you, and I think that, like you said, I think he never really is going to express or let you know how sick he was, because it was never really about him. It was more that he focused on what people's strengths were and really brought that out in you. So I think that's really what I learned from him this year.
And Moises now has a big fight August 1st in Redwood City. What's Moises like in camp now? Is he extra motivated? Is he a little down in the dumps? How is Moises feeling right now?
Yeah, Moises has stayed positive. I think that, again, with Sarge's guidance, he's helped Moises through a lot. I mean, there's, and I think that you can sit with Moises and get more information on him, on what Sarge has really meant for him. But Sarge has been not only his mentor, but like his father, and he's brought him through a lot of tough times. And I think that what Sarge has instilled in Moises is to be strong, to be focused in life, and continue setting goals. And one thing that I've learned from Moises in working with him is that he comes to training every day focused. He lives clean life. So I haven't seen. I mean, he's obviously sad, but he's dedicated. He's focused. He knows that Sarge would want him to stay strong, and continue going forward. And that's exactly where he's at. He's focused and he's training hard.
So I didn't know this about you, but before you came on, I was doing a little research. I didn't know how good of a boxer you were.
Well, I was okay. I was an amateur.
Well, I mean, number 3 ranked in the 32-pound division in Central California. There's a lot of people that were ranked below you.
Yes. I had a lot of fun with boxing. I grew up in the Central Valley, in the Fresno area, and I was my passion of boxing. And I got once I got that ranking, and I got to a level of there was guys that I knew were a lot better, and I knew that I was not going to be a top contender. So I thought, well, I got to make a decision. Do I turn pro, or do I what do I do with this? And when I came to San Jose in 81, I started training with
Angelo
Rogers. That's correct, and he's the one that actually told me, hey man, you can turn pro. I can help you with that, but things just didn't work out that way, and I ended up helping him, open up Santa Clara PAL, and he just taught me how to be a trainer, and the rest is history. I just had a passion for it, and I found that I love being more of a trainer than a fighter, and so I believe that my passion for boxing shows with my relationship with all the fighters and how I train them.
Yeah, and so it sounds like you were more of a teacher. You liked guiding young people and helping teach them good skills, but also kind of like mentoring as well, facilitating. That's what you kind of enjoyed.
That's correct, and that's true to today. I mean, I still continue to do that. I love working with these youth, and the same as Sarge. I think that's what we got along so well, is that we had the same goals in mind, is to bring out the best of these kids and help them make right decisions, and through the art of boxing, they learn so much, and not just boxing itself, but in life itself, and being committed and disciplined and making the right decisions.
Okay, and are you balancing between Relentless and Dreamland? Or are you at one gym specifically now?
No, I am. Excuse me. Since once I came over to help Sarge, I've been full time with Sarge. I've pretty much been running the gym since I would say about September, October of last year. So I am just at Dreamland now. I've been there, and we're building the team. We've gone from from 58 members, I think it was, to we have over 100 members now, and so we're just focused on Dreamland.
And I'm sorry to take up so much of your time, but I have to explain to the listeners, Dreamland's really cool because there's all these plastic chairs that sit around the ring. And it's the only sparring I've ever seen where it feels like a family event. Like, it feels like a cookout where people come to see the sparring. It's like most gyms, it's like people don't want to watch the sparring. I feel like for Dreamland, Sarge in particular was like, come on, sit down, watch the sparring. And I feel like that's such a different mindset than most gyms.
Right. Yep, it's still the same. It's still the same atmosphere, and we continue that.
Okay, just a couple last things. What role is Ian Cruz going to have? I know whenever I've gone down there, he's always been very important in the gym. Is he going to take on more leadership roles within the gym now?
Yeah, Ian continues to do what he has been doing. Pretty much where we're at now is from day one that I came in. Sarge was clear that he wanted me to run the gym, just the way he would, and Ian continues to do a lot of the administrative stuff with us, and of course he does a lot of the coaching there. We have not only Ian, but we have 9 other trainers that help train, and so they're all still a big part of Dreamland, and they'll continue to be that part of Dreamland.
And I guess my very last one would be, what fighters, like your amateur fight team, maybe soon to be pros, what kind of guys do we have coming out of Dreamland, and what's the Dreamland style people can look towards, and like the legacy of Sarge? Who are the fighters coming from there?
Yeah, well, you have Ali Ahmed, who's getting ready to turn pro. His style is very well. Every fighter that the Sarge trained is pretty aggressive, aggressive style. The defensive style is the military style, or let's say more the what Sarge used to call the wall defense, but very aggressive coming forward. The newer fighters that are coming out of Dreamland now that I've been working with, you'll see more boxing style, but still the aggressive style. A lot of we're building a lot of fighters that are just physically strong, and come forward, and but of course learning different styles, but very very aggressive fighters is what we're getting out of there.
I gotta get a follow up. Can you explain to me what the wall is from Sarge?
Yeah. Sarge with his biggest style was you put your two hands up and you pretty much you're blocking the punches that are coming your way, but then he would get you to where you know enough to come forward, put the wall up, and then attack right after the fighter. After you made the other fighter miss, then you attack the fighter, be very aggressive, and take control of the fight.
Very last two questions. Do you have a Sarge story that you can let people know?
I have many stories, but the best thing that what I would like for people to know is that, like I said, Sarge was a very honest man, a very great man, a great mentor, and like I said before, he had a way with words. He had a way of bringing out the best in you. He did that with me. I mean, I felt pretty confident as a fighter, as a coach, but after talking to him, he's made me feel like I was better than what I think I am. And that's just the kind of person he was. He would bring out the best of his fighters, his coaches, and everybody around him. And, I'm a better man for that.
And very last, for all of the listeners, maybe give out like whatever information you want for people to know who you are, Dreamland, just anything you want people to know, so they can follow the rest of your career.
Yeah, absolutely. Dreamland is we're out of San Jose, and you can look us up. We're on the website. We are a nonprofit organization. It will continue to be a nonprofit organization. We have a large community. It's a family-style atmosphere, like you said before. It will continue to be that way. We have, we pride on being able to bring in the kids that can't afford to pay their monthly fees. We'll work with them and make sure that they have a home to come to as far as boxing is concerned. We have members, very generous members that are in our gym that also they pay memberships to help us pay the bills and stay running strong. And again, the best thing I can tell you is Dreamland is a community that you want to be a part of, to learn to box and just to be around the people there. Everybody enjoys being around each other, and if for a little, if an hour at a time that you're there, you get away from the running around stress, and because you'll see how exciting it is, how great time you have, at least for an hour a day with us.
Sounds good. I thank you so much for the time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.